welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
What's going on?
We are back. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July holiday.
Yeah, it did.
We did.
And everyone took some of the Whiskey Wizard wisdom with them into the 4th of July weekend.
Well, I sure hope they did.
I know I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Either that or we just took some whiskey wisdom into our weekend.
I want to give a shout out to Mr. Brand over there that's sitting in on the audience today. We have a couple other audience people that are running late, but that's okay. It is what it is. But
It's all good.
I didn't. You're gonna be surprised. I did not drink a thing over the holiday weekend.
He didn't?
He didn't.
Why?
I almost wanted to take his temperature. I thought he had the COVID. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, no reason. I was just so wrapped up in everything. You know, I'm that way. When I have stuff going on, I stay focused. I'm not a drinker.
Projects you
Yeah.
He had a lot going on just in general
Yeah,
this
right.
past couple of weeks.
I
And
did.
Well, it's better when you can relax.
Sure.
That's
And
for
I
sure.
did. And we had a great time. It
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah.
I worked in the
celebrated in
yard.
style.
Worked in the yard a lot and got a lot of stuff done in the back. And the heat just beat me up, man. Oh my God.
It's been warm, but you know, it's not been as like humid as it often is when it's this warm.
Right.
Like if there's a little breeze and you're in the shade, it's not too bad compared to what it's.
I hate getting out of the shower, even with the air on. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I my house is a cooler. You know, I like to keep it right around.
Last day or two has
You know,
been
60-some
worse.
degrees is kind of where I like to hang. And just getting out of the shower, I mean, you know.
Was it 93
I'm-
today?
I'm sweating like a sumo wrestler over here. What's that?
Well, it's 93 today, I think,
Yeah.
and then it's supposed to be 82 tomorrow. So what does that tell you?
Oh, get your sweater out. It's going to be cold.
if it
Thunderstorms is what that
if it
means.
does-
In
yeah,
fact,
I
it
was
might
saying-
happen while we're in the middle of the show here.
I hope it doesn't, because we actually lost power in today's little storm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys?
Oh.
Yeah.
Might be the first time that the office didn't lose power, for sure. But
Oh, that's
all
good.
good.
So what are you smoking, G?
I'm smoking an Alec Bradley Max.
Looks like
That's
you've
what
been
I'm
smoking
smoking.
that while you were
So,
doing your running around
I
today,
was.
too.
That's why Nick at PR Cigar was kind enough to hook me up with a couple of special things and stopped there on a fluke. And so I said, I need a cigar for the road, brother. He says, I got just the one for you.
That's an awfully dark
So,
wrapper on there.
It is. It's full Maduro. The Max is their max strength Maduro cigars. Alec Bradley puts out a great product. So
Hold that up to that camera there so
well, there's not much to see.
Well, no, I know.
You know,
But you can see how
you don't
dark
want
that
to get
is.
personal.
It's dark.
It is dark. It's a good cigar.
Nice
So-
smoke. Alec Bradley, you said, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Dick? What are you smoking over there?
Perdomo,
It's Perdomo. It's 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary Maduro.
He doesn't mess around.
I think it. You
No,
sure? What's
it's
the red label?
It's Connecticut.
Well, Connecticut wrapper, but what's the? Does it say Maduro on that red label?
You want my
I
glasses?
don't know.
Okay. Well, the reason I say is
That's what I was
because
gonna say.
most of those, a lot of times they will put that red label on a Maduro style cigar, like almost a full body cigar. That's why I was questioning.
Yeah, it's medium body.
Medium body. Okay. So nice, very nice. Perdomo puts out a great product as well,
Yeah.
and the Royal Havana cigars. So Royal Havana cigars
Good
is our sponsor for all of our cigar needs. So
What were those big ones that...
the 8-inch 80 ring gauge.
Oh,
So Dave usually he he does all of my cigars. So he sometimes he'll play around and send me stuff that he wants me to see me smoke. So it's like, here, G, nobody's got anything bigger than this. This is what you're smoking. I'm like, all right, because I like a 660 cigar is my favorite style of cigar. So, but I just humidified all those cigars, and I think after the show I'm gonna smoke one. So,
Horse fluffer.
what's that?
Horse fluffer.
Yeah.
horse lover.
Well, if you need a job,
You the man.
you the man. I'll hire you.
Oh, my. We got a little romancing going on over here.
I've been putting up with him for what, 20 years, killing me.
So, Doug, since you don't smoke, I'm going to ask you about your trip and your adventure. Did you do some hopping at the distilleries? within the past month?
Oh well, I mean, I was. You mean this weekend?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what were you this
Put in
weekend?
Bay, yeah.
You
I
went
went
to
out
Put in Bay,
Put in
yeah,
Bay,
so I
yeah.
thought
Okay.
you were
Yeah, and I heard they'd had there's a place now that does
micro distiller. Right?
micro distiller out there. So I stopped in and actually, man, it was really nice out there.
I bet.
And everybody was being pretty cool with the social distancing and all that stuff. But actually,
I was at Marblehead.
oh really?
Yeah. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, actually, one good thing about the whole COVID thing is that it's actually places are less crowded.
Right. Right.
So you actually can enjoy it more. Whereas normally you go out July 4th weekend to Put in Bay, it's just going to be a zoo, right?
Right.
But it wasn't bad. You could get in places and so we had a lot of fun. And yeah, it was interesting little micro
Yeah. Cool.
distillery. And at first they said they told us they were only doing rum and vodka, and then I was talking to one of the bartenders and said, well, now they're actually currently making a whiskey bourbon that they're
Nice.
going to have available in a couple of years from now. So
My parents had a house out there for years. Out in Put in Bay.
So obviously they're going for a straight bourbon. Because it go at least 2 years, right?
After all the grandkids start growing up, then
Yeah.
and then my sister moved away and all kinds of stuff. My parents ended up selling it. But we used to spend all summer out there. My parents would stay out there during the summer, and I would watch my mom and dad's house, and then like every other weekend I would drive out there. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we'd go out there and hang out, and it was fun. And plus, Charlie and the rest of the crew that I grew up with, they had a campground over there by Bessemer, the nuclear plant. Is that right, Bessemer? Is that the nuclear plant? Is it Bessemer?
Bessie, something?
Bessie? Something,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a long time,
Yeah.
over 20 years ago. But we used to go out there, man. We had a lot of fun out there back in the day.
I've never been there. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it.
I've lived here my whole life. I've never been to.
My
Portland.
parents' place was like the best spot because they had the beach and they had the first spot of docking for boats. So, my father used to say, you should bring your boat out here. I ain't bringing my boat out there. Ain't no way I'm bringing my boat out there. People are crazy. Plus, we were in the Bay area, so we could see Cedar Point across the bay, and it was cool because my dad's buddy would take his boat out there, and it held 8 people, and we'd go through all the bays and all that stuff. But at nighttime, when usually back then at the end of the night, Cedar Point would do a big fireworks display. Didn't matter if there was a holiday or not, and we would sit there and around the fire and just watch the fireworks. It was great. Plus, they had the train roll by, which was, probably a mile away, but it sounded like it was right on top of you. But it was pretty cool. They had the trains roll through there and everything else. It was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bay Drive, if I remember the name of the street. Bay Drive.
So I found out we're going to probably be working at home a lot longer.
Okay.
Yeah, I found that out today as well.
So I don't know.
Poor Shauna.
All I do is do WebEx meetings anymore.
Right.
So I was on a WebEx this week. And this woman I work with was talking about somebody, and they were like, I don't know if it's ignorance or apathy. And I was like, by the way, what's the difference between ignorance and apathy?
Right.
Well,
why I laughed.
never mind. I don't really know, and I don't really care.
It's very similar.
Look at him. He's good
Yeah,
today.
you're all primed up, son.
He is all
Huh?
primed up and ready
Would
to
you
go.
stub your toe on the way down the
I
steps? What
must
happened?
have. So what are we doing? We're going. Oh, we have a special.
Well, we
Surprise.
have a special guest, and I cut away to the other camera just while Greg was talking to get a different angle. But we here on the Whiskey Roundtable are so excited that we're
Joe
going
Boo.
to have a baseball season this year.
What are they doing? 3
Hey,
games?
I will take 60 games.
I'll take anything,
I'll
man.
take
I
anything
am
I can get.
jonesing for my tribe. So
As I said earlier, I'd watch
Joe Boo.
girls t-ball if I had to. I'm so ready for baseball.
yes, we
I
are
had
ready
something
for
to
baseball.
say, but I'm going to be quiet over here.
That's okay. I think Dick said it before
Yeah,
you got
we
here.
all thought it, but nobody said it.
Yeah, but we have Joe Boo. He's ready to go. He's got his shot glass, which will be full of rum as the season kicks off.
That's it.
So, Joe Boo, get those bats going.
Yeah, Joe Boo. At least make us win 10 games.
Let's go, tribe.
Amen.
All right.
I see you put up your tribe sign.
Chris
over there.
Snyder,
That's it.
who's a long-suffering Pirates fan, he said, well, the Pirates will probably lose 100 games this year.
I'm surprised too
It
because
could happen.
you know, I mean, Pittsburgh is a beautiful city for sure, and I'm surprised that they don't have a better team.
I know. Well, there's
I mean,
yeah,
it's-
that's a whole discussion in of itself.
Yeah, okay, I'll leave it alone.
Hey, 1977, they won the World Series.
Yes. Oh,
Don't ask me why I know that.
well, that's all right. More than
That was the
they
We
only
Are
win one?
Family. year.
That was the We Are Family,
We
Sister
Are
Sledge.
Family.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
See?
And then and then 71 before that. So then you have to go back to 61 before that.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow, you're even more of a wealth of knowledge than I am.
Well, that was that was the great Bill Mazeroski home run to beat the Yankees in the World Series.
Perfect.
Oh, I
Gotta love
love it
that.
already. They beat the
Gotta love
I hope
Yankees.
the
that.
Yankees lose every game.
Bill
this year.
Mazeroski hit like 2 home runs in his career. That was one of them.
Perfect.
Nice. The
Gotta
only-
love it.
The only two that counted, right?
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Okay, so what's our special
What's
feature
So
tonight?
you know you're talking about being a wealth of knowledge. I was helping Greg get ready for the
I'm glad
news.
you looked at him when you said wealth of knowledge and not me.
Honey, we've been married way too long. I know. I know
Amen.
the answer to
I
that.
know, right.
But I was helping Greg get ready for the news, and I ran across this article. It was on VinePair, which I get through my Apple News, and the title of the article is what grabbed my attention. It said the definitive whiskey urban dictionary.
Okay.
So I love the Urban Dictionary. I love expanding my vocabulary, especially when I can use it to my sarcastic and twisted sense of humor, which is what Urban Dictionary does. So this is an article that's kind of Urban Dictionary with the whiskey twist. So,
Right.
The whiskey business has its own lingo. You guys talk in your own acronyms and that kind of thing. So I thought it would be fun to kind of give you two a vocabulary test tonight.
Okay. Well, we'll try.
All right.
So this is how it's going to go. So I'm going to throw a word out.
Okay.
And I want you guys, in no particular order, we're not buzzing in or doing anything formal because after all, this is the Whiskey Roundtable, right?
Yeah, we never do anything for him.
Never ever.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a word.
Okay.
And if you guys think you know the answer, blurt it out and tell me. If you don't know it, I want you to try to think what it could possibly mean so you
Okay.
can give an answer. So, for example, if I say the angels share, you guys would say
Angels envy. No.
It's the
no. So it would be
it's the part of the escapes
evaporation
from the kegs.
yeah. So it's
Sorry.
percentage of whiskey that is lost due to evaporation as it ages.
You were
in the
thinking
barrel.
word association.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into full sentences, but
That's okay.
okay. So
You better drink some more bourbon. That'll help you.
I've been drinking 2 weeks.
So we're gonna start off. Okay, so you gotta ramp up, honey.
All right. Sorry.
So we're gonna start off easy.
I got new
Okay.
underwear on. Does anybody care about
Well,
that?
hey, it is Friday.
It's backwards, but I don't care.
So then that's what happens
Sorry,
after
Rich.
a week. It just turns it around.
Rich almost spit his beer out.
For him to spit beer out, you know it's bad.
Oh my
man.
God. Sorry, Rich. I love
Okay.
you, brother.
Anyway, so we're gonna start off easy, okay,
All right.
and then we're gonna get a little bit more into the sick
All right,
and
I'm up
twisted
for this.
humor that I like.
I like the challenge.
So let's start off easy.
I'm just giving you one word answers.
Okay,
Or
well,
maybe a
this'll-
couple of words.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Okay, so B-I-B.
Bottled and bond.
There you go, easy.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
Okay, another easy one. Dram.
Dram is
It's a
Go ahead.
2-finger pour. Yeah.
Good. Good.
A little pour of whatever your whiskey choice is.
Glass of whiskey.
Another word for it's a dram.
Dram is
It's a pour. It's a 2-ounce pour.
I'm assuming it's going to be for all whiskeys like Scotch and regular whiskey.
Yeah. Dram is
and-
particularly
and
meant
usually neat. No.
apropos when you're talking about Scotch.
You're taking this so seriously. Yeah,
It's a weed
No, I'm just
dram.
trying to,
You don't have a weed dram.
It's a glass of whiskey. That's
Okay.
all.
All right. Good.
Okay, so now, dusty hunting.
Oh shit. Bottom shelf, man.
Dusty hunting.
Think
We're looking
about it.
for old
stuff.
bottles, old, well-aged things.
Right. Stuff that people usually don't buy. Right.
Okay, so dusty hunting, how they explained it on VinePair, is searching for vintage whiskey in off the beaten path liquor stores or estate sales or wherever.
Yeah, so we're kind of partially right.
Yeah,
And
so-
we can't get full credit on that.
That's okay. You were.
But
you
off
were-
the beaten
I'll
path
take
was
50%. You take 50.
There
Yeah,
you
we're-
go. Okay, now this one, we don't condone this one, but this is flip or flipped.
secondary market kind of buying and selling.
Correct.
Okay.
So buying a coveted bottle only to turn it around on the secondary market as an inflated.
Which is not something
price.
we are in favor of here.
No,
in the
we
Whiskey
definitely
Roundtable.
don't. We will definitely
That's-
not do that.
In my notes, I wrote bad, bad, bad.
It is bad. I've never, ever done that, and I never will. So I don't mind, trading somebody dollar for dollar, but other than that, I'm not, And I'm
Well,
very,
I can't
very
say I've
choosy.
never paid a secondary price,
Yeah.
but I've never would.
I've
I would never try to do that.
Yeah, I've paid secondary price in my shopping trips, only because I wanted the product. But that was all legal. It wasn't anything illegal.
I would
Yeah.
never try to. I would never buy something at retail and
I think
Try
it's bullshit. when
mark it
people
up
do
3
that.
times and sell to somebody else.
And I stopped doing that because some of the people that wanted to buy dollar for dollar, I have done, even not in a trade, and then to find out that those people secondary marketed, so I shut all that down. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm trying to do you a favor here, and
Yeah.
you're just trying to make money, so you're not going to use me for that. So
Yeah.
all that's done. So
It's
anybody that wants,
unnecessary.
I don't offer up anything for anybody anymore. It is what they ruined it, so it is what it is.
That's right.
Because I'm a dick
Okay.
that way.
You
Go
can
ahead.
be.
I know.
Moving on. Peat Monster.
That's a very peaty Scottish whiskey.
I knew you were gonna.
I purposely didn't say nothing on purpose because I knew he would.
I threw that in there
that's
just
his
for
thing,
you.
man.
And what it said was it's typically from the Isla region.
There you go. Good. It's
See, I didn't say
Islas,
Islay.
or the Islays. Yes.
Isla.
It's a. There's actually a whiskey brand. There is a release called Peat Monster, which
Oh,
is
really?
a mixture of a bunch of different peaty whiskeys that they blend.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and it's very good.
Well, it's funny. So you're talking about Scotch. So a buddy of mine just bought a bottle of. He wanted me to come out to the cigar lounge and try it with him, but I won't tell you where he bought it. But it is what is it? Is it? I can't remember. Is it Orphan or is the distiller? If I have it wrong, I don't know. I don't know a lot about it, but it's a Scotch. If I'm saying it right, is it
Forager's Keep?
Forger's Keep? Forger's Keep Scotch that he bought and wanted me to come out. So I said, "Do they have any more?" He said, "Yes." I said, "How much is it a bottle?" Because I thought about trucking to get it, and he says $400 a bottle. I said, "You know what? For something I've never had, I don't want to pay $400."
It doesn't even sound like it's a single malt. It sounds
So-
like it's probably a blended whiskey.
Well, it is a blended. So
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, if I heard him right, I might be wrong on that, but I'm almost positive it was a blended.
So if there's any listeners that know, let us know what you know about Forager's Keep.
Forger's Keep.
Forager's Keep.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a word for you. What do you think this means? Hazmat.
Oh shit!
As far as
When you use
whiskey,
the toilet. And
Hazmat.
It's
Yeah,
really
remember
bad.
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah,
the
Urban
EPA
is-
pulls in. Did I get that right?
What?
Huh?
What did he say?
Right after Greg uses the bathroom.
Right after Karen uses the
People
bathroom.
come in with
Yeah,
like,
the
you know,
EPA pulls in.
yeah. The nuclear garb on because the
Yeah.
power plant
Yeah.
exploded or
Was
something.
I close?
No, okay.
I
so-
I'm gonna say.
I don't know. I've
I'm
never
gonna
heard
s-
that in relationship.
I'm gonna
to
say
whiskey.
hazmat is probably something very, very spicy, very hot to drink, but I don't know.
You're close.
Yeah, high proof.
High proof.
There you
High
go.
proof.
Whiskey
Okay.
over 140 proof
50-50.
is called hazmat.
Okay, all right, we guessed it, but
All right.
that's interesting. I never heard anybody use that. So, all right,
What about bunker?
bunker.
Ooh, bunker. When I think of bunker, I think something that's stashed away, not really drank.
Oh, it's the thing.
There you go. So a bunker is a person's private collection but it refers to the portion of their collection that's not on display in their house.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's
Keep it in the
displayed
bomb
at my house.
shelter
I keep
for-
it in the shelter. I keep my shit
For
in
those
the
lean
bunker.
times.
So we are in the bunker right now.
Amen.
Anyway. All right, and how about a backup?
Backup is a secondary whiskey, if you will, to something that maybe you finished off and you have an extra bottle.
Something of lesser quality for the point where it doesn't make any difference anymore.
What do you got?
Girlfriend
So
didn't
you
put
get.
out.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
First girlfriend didn't put out.
First
First
girlfriend
girlfriend
didn't put
to
up.
put out.
Good answer.
You always
good
got to
answer.
keep a spare, right?
It's wrong, but it's a good answer.
It's wrong, but thanks for playing. No, a backup is an extra bottle for your bunker, which enables you to drink your rare whiskey as opposed to hoarding it.
Well,
So-
I just did that. I liked that Peerless bourbon so much that I had my daughter bring me 2 more on her way.
You know, you can get that right here in
So
Ohio.
now knowing that another one and another one, Antique 107 was coming, I was able to drink the ones I had.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so okay, I back up. That's good.
That's a backup.
All right.
All right.
All right, just a couple more.
Okay.
Shut up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Did you wake me up?
This will wake you up.
All right.
Crotch shot.
Oh shit.
Have any idea how this
Oh,
could possibly refer to
Crotch
whiskey?
I've seen a lot of that in my days.
Yeah, but those were DVDs you bought at the store on
No, those were no DVDs.
150.
It's a whiskey that
I need to drink.
is so bad you
that.
might as well just pour it in your lap. I don't know.
What is it? I have
Okay,
no idea.
crotch shot. This is a
have no
strange
idea.
phenomenon when a collector takes a picture of a bottle they just bought
Okay.
after they exit in the store and they run in their car and they take a picture because usually the photo you're sitting
yeah.
in your car
Ah.
and the bottle is between your
Okay.
legs.
Well, I don't do that, so I'm not really sure.
Well, I've seen people that do that.
Crotch
That's
shot,
a
okay.
crotch shot.
Pass this down to my friend.
So you
Wizard
just
down there.
okay.
So now we can drink the old medley because we have a
Back
Yeah.
up.
exactly.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well,
2
he's getting 2 more because one's for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up 2 more bottles this weekend.
All right.
All right. 2 more.
All right.
Shelf turd.
Something that never sells.
Yeah, I gotta believe it's something that nobody
Never
buys.
sells, and it's really bad.
Jack Daniels.
Jack
So,
Daniels.
shelf turd is a bottle of whiskey that's perpetually stocked on store shelves. Doesn't need to be a low quality whiskey. It can be something
Just always there.
that's always there. Like, you go, Knob Creek is always there.
Knob Creek,
Jack Daniels
yeah.
is
Jack
always
Daniels.
there.
Wild
Turkey
Turkey
is always
I
there.
wouldn't call them. I mean, I think turd is kind of a.
Well, we
Kind
don't
of
get
a-
to.
Derogatory.
Hey, this is the Urban Dictionary. We don't get
Yeah,
to
right.
decide, Greg. What
I understand.
All right. Last word. Tater.
Tater. Tater salad.
Tater.
Tater.
They call me.
That's vodka when I think of taters.
Yeah, I think of it's like it's a high proof like pseudo high grain vodka
Yeah, no.
concentration. No,
What is
we're not even close.
Not
close.
even close. This one is off the charts. So tater refers to a new whiskey drinker who likes to collect, but they don't know what they're doing. So they do stupid things just for the sake of collecting.
I guess that's
Yeah.
me.
So let me use this in a sentence.
Just, okay.
Okay? This is a sentence that they gave on the story. That tater booked an international flight just so he could buy a bottle of Blanton's.
Well, I guarantee you that happens every day.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
So don't be a tater.
I'm not a tater.
Don't be a tater hater either.
Yeah. And,
you know,
Greg
my-
would not have to fly anywhere to get Blanton's.
That's true.
Oh.
It's true.
Too funny. Thank you for playing. I don't know. I think that was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
We've got a few people out here watching tonight. We've got just in order of how they
A
logged
few.
in.
We doubled it from last time.
That's right. Just in order of how they logged in, we've got Jennifer Boggs out there.
Jennifer.
Sean was out there.
Sean is out there.
Shauna.
Patrick Patterson
Love
is
you.
out there.
My brother Steven.
Brother Steven
What's
from
up, brother?
in Houston. It's 102
Oh.
Perfect.
in Houston.
So it
Come on,
cooled
man.
down. It must have cooled down a bit.
Come on, brother. You know black people don't like all that heat. You're killing me, man. Shit. Hell's wrong
That's
with
why
you?
he's got the air conditioning
Sit
on.
down
He
and have a
probably
hot-
hasn't left the
Sit
house.
down and have a hot burrito. You'll feel better. God damn it. Where's Donnelly today?
Uh-oh. Let's see. What do we have? Jennifer, let's see. What is she saying? She's already finished off some 2017 Angels Envy cast strength. And now she's working on I.W. Harper's 15-year.
Okay. Well, we just finished.
Okay, well, she doesn't mess around. We know
Well,
that.
she said
I
she
can't
had...
wait for I can't wait for them to come back. They were a lot of fun.
Well, she has to eventually if she wants
she has to
get
because I got a
her
whole bunch of
rest
stuff
her
sitting over here.
whiskeys.
I was going to sell it on the
I'm looking at
secondary
the bag
market,
right now.
That's right. We still have your
So
stuff.
she'll just have to be a
We
guest one
we
more
can
time.
sell her stuff on the secondary market. We probably get $5 for that bag. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
We would do
At least get us a half a cigar, you know.
Oh, dear. Shauna is also watching with your two daughters, Lindsay and Kayla.
Sorry, Lindsay
girls.
and Kayla. Sorry.
Hey. Well, they're probably enjoying it because Doug's here.
Are they home? Or are they down
Yeah.
south?
They're both.
Oh, they're both
They're
home?
both visiting. Yes,
All right.
I through next week.
All
And,
right. So can I say something to them?
yeah.
All right. Clean the house, make the dinner, and wash the cars and cut the grass. All right. You earned it. Okay. Good. What?
You're
They've been
Never
helping
mind.
out. They've been helping out.
They better. I'll come over there and straighten them out. I might even stay the night.
So going off the peat monster.
Okay.
Let's go back. Patrick Patterson says his favorites are Isla's, the Lagavulin and the Ardbeg.
Mm-hmm.
And Jennifer talking about the hazmat. She said Stag is up there at 132 proof, but not quite a hazmat. 8 more points and we'd
I
have
had
Yeah.
last year when I was on vacation. I had George T. Stagg Senior antique collection. It was 100. I can't remember. It was 141 or 100. I want to say it was 141 proof, and it did not drink like 141 proof. It was fantastic. It was so good we drank the whole bottle.
Which kind was that?
George T. Stagg, the father.
Yeah.
There's George T. Stagg Jr. and then George T. Stagg. It's in the 5-pack of the antique collection. That was, and we drank a couple of, you know, I've had all the antique collections several times except Eagle Rare. We have never had the Eagle Rare. So, very good.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff. I'd rather have that. Honest to God, I'd rather have that, and it's about the same price if you buy all the Pappies. I'd rather have the antique collection. It's eons above the Pappies. Eons. Very good. Very good stuff.
Kayla just brought me some Eagle.
Eagle Rare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff too.
Yeah.
One of these days, I have a couple of the Eagle Rares, just a few. But I have some store picks too. We should pop one of those open someday when we're else in town.
Twist my arm.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so if he comes next Friday, we'll pop one of those bottles open.
Yeah, that's
And
Sidecar's favorite.
Patrick, if you like Isla's, you must try the Kilcoman. So try to find that one. I think you'll enjoy it. So
Kilcomen, you said, huh?
yeah.
Okay. I don't know where Chris is tonight.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Chris
Probably-
Snyder.
Probably at home cutting the grass. Leave the guy
Probably stuck in his car,
probably crying.
Yelling
about
at
the
that-
baseball season.
yelling at that Pennsylvania governor of his.
He's been very
Suck it up,
busy
Chris.
with business things the last couple of weeks.
We're looking for sympathy. It's in the dictionary between shit and syphilis, just so you know.
It is. It is. He's right. He told me that once. I went and looked. Sure
Everybody
enough.
look, God damn, he's right.
Sure enough.
Shit, I'm right about a few things, just so you know. I'm not stupid like everybody says.
I'm smart.
I'm smart.
Like
So what
got
are we
skills.
what are we sampling today?
We are sampling,
Michters American whiskey.
correct, unblended.
Is there anything you can tell us about?
Why,
tonight's-
I'm so
tonight's
glad you
selection?
asked,
Can't
Doug.
believe you asked that question,
I
Doug.
can't believe you asked
That's why
me.
you're the wizard, man.
Oh, hey,
You
this
see, I'm all
is
out
a highly
for that.
organized production.
This is a very
That's
organized
right.
production. Exactly right.
Anyway, Michters, it was originally known as Shanks, and it was founded by John Schenk, a Swiss Mennonite farmer in Schaefferstown, PA, in 1753.
Wow.
In its earliest days, Schenk...
1753.
1753. In its earliest days, Shanks produced whiskey from rye grain, and it was a favorite local crop in the Pennsylvania Blue Mountain Valley, where the distillery was located. You got a story about that, Doug?
Well, we are gonna at some point we are gonna have a discussion about the whiskey rebels, and that takes place after the Revolutionary War in Pennsylvania. But well, that'll be a different discussion.
There you go.
But I'm reading a good book on that right now, and so part of my research.
All right.
Anyway, continue.
And it's funny that you mentioned the Revolutionary War, and as part of your Whiskey Wizard, the last show, Michters, according to Pennsylvania lore, this particular rye whiskey, it's hard to say rye whiskey.
Why?
Say it like 3 times fast.
Rye whiskey, rye whiskey, rye whiskey.
I don't know, that third one was shaky.
No,
Anyway, this particular...
Why risk?
See? Why risky? See, that's what you want to say.
Yeah.
This particular rye whiskey was so valued that when the Revolutionary War broke out, George Washington visited the distillery and purchased the whiskey to fortify his men as they hunkered down in their camp through the long winter in Valley Forge. So, kind of springs off what you said.
Maybe that's what inspired him to go, I gotta make some of this shit.
That's right.
Because we know he eventually did, and was quite good at it.
Absolutely.
So Michters,
fast 3
So-
times.
Shanks, or whatever it was called at the time, was actually the whole reason behind it.
Yes. So, to this day, it's known as the whiskey that warmed the American Revolution.
Nice.
So, by the mid-1800s...
Well, that's a little scary because
That's a little apropos.
I'm kind of like,
Hey, we won. Right?
No, I was just talking about when you said warmed. That makes me think that that's real hot. So, but anyway, go ahead.
No, you know how they always say in the winter whiskey keeps you warm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all. Anyway.
That's why I drink and drive in the winter. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, he
I'm sorry.
doesn't.
I
He
apologize.
doesn't. Don't listen. So, by the mid-1800s, Pennsylvania Dutchman Abraham Baumberger purchased the distillery, and it was known from there on for many decades as Baumburgers. So it switched from Shanks to Baumburgers. What are you doing?
I was just drinking my soda water.
Oh dear, I can't. I don't know. He's laughing at you. That's what's making me think you did.
The name Baumberger. It sounds like a Jewish doctor.
Yeah.
It could be. You never know.
Hey, we can't deal with this Shanks name.
Maybe it was.
We need something that's a little more
maybe-
marketable.
maybe he
I
was
know,
a-
Baumburger.
Yeah, we
Maybe
need
he was
something
a-
that rolls off
Maybe
the
he
tongue.
was a Jewish distiller or something. Maybe you never know.
Yeah, but here's
Abraham.
here's the whole. John, didn't you say John Shank was Mennonite?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they?
Swiss Mennonite.
I thought they're part of. No, they're not. I thought they would not drink alcohol. Mennonites.
Well, nothing says they can't make it, though.
Right. I'm
This
sure
is
they didn't
true.
sample anything.
Hypocrites like all the rest. All right, keep going.
I don't know. Maybe the
Nothing to
audience
see
missed
here.
some of
Move
that.
along.
Move along.
That's
Move
it.
along. Okay, so yeah, went from Shanks to Baumburgers. And he was
Okay.
a Pennsylvania Dutchman, so there you go.
He was not.
And
he
the
was just-
Pennsylvania
Makes
Dutchman
sense. What
is
you're saying
Amish.
makes complete sense.
And that's Amish.
Right.
Amish don't
Yeah.
drink
There you go.
Right.
unless.
So far as you know.
they're
You don't know the
16.
Amish that I know.
That's
Unless
correct as
they're
far
under
as you know.
16.
They brought me some of the best moonshine I've ever had.
Yeah.
We're
I was
laughing
gonna say,
because we are basically on the outskirts of Amish country here
Yeah, we
where
are.
we do
I
this. So
think
there's a
we're
lot of Amish
Fourth
around. And
largest
Fourth
Amish.
largest now. We used to be the first.
Yeah,
Now we're the fourth. Everybody's moving down south, man.
yeah, they're all in Florida now.
can't blame them. Would you want to live in no electricity in the winter? Hell no.
That don't
About
bother
time they woke up
well,
and
that means
moved
you gotta
south.
be in Florida with no air conditioning in the summer.
Oh, that's true too. You can find a happy
can't even
medium.
imagine.
Anyway. Let me get through this.
me. Go ahead.
I feel like I've been talking the whole show.
No.
So,
The passage of Prohibition in 1919 forced the distillery to close its doors to the public. And although it did reopen after the repeal of Prohibition, it changed hands many times over the next few decades, and it had a lot of financial trouble. And then during the 1950s, Lou Foreman, who
Lou Foreman.
don't know if there's any Foreman Brown connection there, but during the 1950s, the Baumburgers, Lou Foreman, one of the distillery's then owners, created the Michters brand name, and he named it by combining his two sons' names, Michael and Peter. Michter.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean,
Nice.
it beats the other two names they have.
Amen. Amen.
So,
Shankburger?
I'm gonna try this Shank Burger American whiskey unblended. Just
Can I
so
have
y'all
mine
know.
with cheese, please?
Sure can. Besides that, we make some cheese too. Lindberger.
okay.
Good. Sorry.
So, that's how the name Michter that we've all come to know and love came about. That's very interesting.
Yep.
I learned something new. That's
Look
good.
at me schooling the
That's
whiskey
right.
wizard.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
I'm always open to learning more about the wondrous world of whiskey.
The wonders of whiskey. All right, I'm going to try to wrap up quick here.
Okay.
So, 1999, the entire whiskey industry was suffering a downturn. Michter's then owners declared bankruptcy, and they abandoned the premises, leaving the Pennsylvania distillery seemingly lost to history. And if it wasn't for, and I'm sorry, I'm going to mispronounce this Italian's last name, you will never forgive me, Joseph J. Magliocco, Magliocco, and his consultant, mentor Dick Newman, and their love for whiskey. If it wasn't for them, Michters would have been lost forever. In the 1990s, those two teamed up to resurrect Michters. Magliocco.
Magliocco.
Okay. I didn't know if the C was a cho or a co. So,
You could say Magliocco. That's probably really the proper.
well, you probably don't say the G either. Just
Yeah, the G's usually silent.
Magliocco.
That's, the G wasn't well. Go finish. I was getting into a long, stupid story. Go ahead.
Honey, I'm used to those.
I know. Go ahead.
Well, we were going to have to get into Italian class here.
We're gonna have to get in the Italian. Get in the trunk.
Get in the trunk.
The only Italian you all need to know. Get in the trunk. You talking to me? Good.
So, Magliocco got into the wine and spirits industry after he graduated from Yale and then Harvard Law School.
Of course.
And
Wow.
he became familiar with Michters.
Was that the Dago?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, kids. Pay
Ding,
attention.
ding.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ding, ding. Leave it up to the Dagos. Go ahead.
He got familiar with Michters through his college days of just drinking, and he was a bartender getting through college. So that's how he got introduced to Michters. Richard Dick Newman, he was in the U.S. Marine Corps, for where he earned a Purple Heart. Thank you very much,
That's what I'm talking about.
Mr. Newman. So after he got out of the Marine Corps, he had a great career in the whiskey business. He, at one time, he ran Old Grandad, Old Crow,
Nice.
and Old Taylor for National Distillers. And then
Nice.
he became president and CEO of Austin Nichols, who's the distiller of Wild Turkey.
All turkey. Awesome.
I knew they were associated with another
Yeah.
distillery, major distillery.
So today, Michters has 3 locations in Kentucky. They have a 78,000 square foot distillery in the Shively section of Louisville.
Louisville.
They have the Fort Nelson building in Louisville's Museum Row. And they have 145 acres of farmland in Springfield.
And their head distiller is a woman. I can't remember her name right now.
Oh,
But,
you know what? I did not pull that off.
So, yeah. She's quite well known in the whiskey industry. And I think Michters always does very good stuff.
I'm excited.
We can all say that, right?
I'm very excited to try this one.
So, yeah. So
So this particular Michters American whiskey, it's part of their US 1 expression, and this expression was named to honor Michters' heritage, which harkens back to America's first whiskey company that goes back to the 1753. And according to their website, it consists of some of the finest single barrel and truly small batch whiskeys available. So, unlike bourbon or rye, which has to be aged in new oak barrels, this Michters US one unblended American whiskey is aged in a way that utilizes whiskey-soaked barrels to achieve a rich and unique flavor profile. And it was in late 2013 that the then master distiller, Willie Pratt, agreed to re-release the unblended American whiskey after nearly a 3-year absence from the market.
So it's called unblended, so we know that number one, it can't be a bourbon because it's not aged in
New barrel.
New barrels.
new oak, new charred oak barrels. So it's actually using probably bourbon or rye first fill barrels. So soak means that probably as soon as they've emptied them from their own other products that they're making,
They transfer
they
this in.
transfer this particular whiskey, American whiskey, in it.
Nice.
And I'm sure that, from what I know, maybe
I don't
want to.
No, go ahead. 'Cause I don't have that.
They don't have any kind of. It's kind of a very well kept secret on what the actual grain bill is for this. So we're probably can guess that nothing is over 51%, whether it's corn or rye. But I guess if it harkens back to the early days of that era that they were talking about in the 1700s, it's probably got more rye than anything else, though.
Let me see if I can find it real quickly. I don't remember seeing anything on the mash bill, but
No, they don't let that out because that's pretty much a guarded secret. So.
see how they are?
Ah.
No, there sure isn't. It's not on
And
their
then
site.
they're
so.
already they're going in aging in first fill, so they couldn't call it a bourbon or a straight whiskey because of that. So, but it's a very unique product. It is an American whiskey, and it's kind of in its own category. So that's I think it'll be fun to taste. I'm very excited.
And
to try it.
It's a low proof. It's 83.4.
Well, that's kind of low for the whiskey roundtable.
It is kind of low.
It is kind of low for the whiskey round table. It's definitely not
okay.
hazmat. That's
right. It's not a hazmat.
It's a low mat.
But, it doesn't mean it can't be enjoyable. A lot of my favorite single malts are in that range. So.
That's right. All right, kids, we want to pass it out?
I'm gonna pass it out here. And that to the wizard.
I love the color
One
right
for
off
you.
the bat.
Give you the char on
It's
it.
very amber
Yeah.
colored.
It almost looks
I
like
do
a
not
4
have-
char to me, but that's just. I'm gonna grab a water if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah, go ahead. I do not see the char on here.
Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself there.
No, you're fine.
I think our
What's the
guest
price
here.
is about what? $40, something like that.
You know what? I have
new.
2 bottles of that. They were both gifted to me. I don't even know what it cost, to be honest with you.
So let me see. Let me go to their website and see if I can, if you're going to order it online, if they have it available.
But if you're going to buy it in the UK, for those of our audience that are in the Isles, it's going to cost you about £50, I think. So, bit of a markup there for the export tax.
So I am on Caskers, which I know they're a little bit higher than the normal, but they're selling it on Caskers for $52.99.
Okay.
So yeah, you're probably right. It's probably in the $40 range if you can find it on the shelf.
We have a guest? Or?
We do.
We do, but
We do. He's trying.
he heard us and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not going down there with those idiots. Get out of Dodge." Ooh, there's a Michters 10-year-old bourbon barrel straight bourbon whiskey for $365.
I have that.
You didn't pay
How many
for-
bottles do you
I just have one.
have?
You didn't pay no $300.
I just have one. Well, I could buy I think it's a 20-year for $700.
Look at him. He's just
Look
as
at this.
quiet
There he
as a
is.
mouse
Look at
coming in.
Look at this good-looking guy.
There he
All
is.
right.
Hey.
Whoop, whoop.
Good to see you.
Can I interrupt the show a minute?
Sure, why not?
Can you hand this over to Mr. So-and-so over there?
So-and-so. Oh, the Leaf cigar.
Amen.
There you go. Did you give him an 880?
What's this?
Did you give him an 880?
No, I didn't give him an 880. He's not good. He's not a Maduro guy.
Gotcha.
You say that with contempt.
No, I'm just saying. You're still learning.
Kurt can't handle 880.
You can't handle the
Only in the
80.
morning. You got a cutter and a lighter for him?
You want to pour Kurt some Michters? You want some Michters? You
wanna
want to
try it?
taste it with us?
Certainly.
So we'll have to take down his score as part of our official tally.
Alright.
Absolutely. So you missed the beginning part of the show, Kurt. We have Joe Boo on the table tonight. He's our special guest.
Joe Boo.
Oh man, I can't help but enjoy that.
It's got a great smell to it.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Let him just hang on to that for him so let him do his thing.
Where's the cut? It's a bullet. Oh, it's a
Here, you want a bullet or you want a slice?
got it. Never seen one like that.
Do about 2 or 3.
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys.
Is
No,
he a
you're
tater?
fine.
Is he a tater?
He might be a tater.
Is he a tater?
He might be a
What do
tater.
you
He's
think?
still learning. He's still learning.
That's okay. We
I'll
love
be
him
your
anyway.
Huckleberry.
You're a huckleberry. Why don't you pull up one of those ashtrays over there and have a seat? If you want to move that
Okay,
bag,
I love their
put the
nose on
bench
this.
over there. There you go.
Yeah, come on, sweet cheeks.
Oh.
Cowbell. Chris Snyder's here.
More cowbell.
Hey, Chrissy.
I said in the past, this was left over from Steve's fraternity house from some of Steve's girlfriends that he used to date. But there you go, brother.
That's when they would call Steve downstairs to tell him his girlfriend was here.
Girlfriend's here.
Girlfriend's here.
She belled on up to the door.
Come and get it.
Okay,
on,
are we
Cletus.
nosing this?
Oh, are we doing whiskey tonight?
Yeah,
What
let's
are
do
we-
whiskey. Let's do the nose.
You can tell we haven't done a show in a little while.
Oh, wow. We
And
missed
we
a
really
week,
haven't
and
been
it's
pre-gaming tonight. This is just us straight sober.
I know.
So I
That's
get
probably
no
our
I get
problem.
no ethanol out of it. I get a lot of
Yeah.
caramel. I get the oak. I get the vanilla, but
Oak, and I'm with you on all those things. A little dark fruit.
a little dark fruit, but not much. I don't get a big hint of. I don't really get a lot of drag out of the smell. I can't really put anything
It's
out
not,
there.
it's like not very aromatic at all.
It's not. It's not at all. You're
Very
exactly
smelly.
right.
Well, I guess
It's an 83.4.
I don't have
proof,
COVID because
so-
I'm getting a lot of good smells here.
Mhm.
It smells
Okay.
nice, but it's not strong at all.
I'm fighting for nose. I don't find a lot out of it.
I get
But
the.
you definitely got the caramel, and
Yeah.
I got that kind of rye, definitely that rye quality.
I gotta sit for a minute and let that. I know it's been breathing for a while, but
I'm getting the same notes that you're getting, Greg. I'm getting the vanilla
I get-
and the caramel and the oak.
It's funny,
I get minimal earth out of it, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah.
Minimal, real minimal. Hopefully
it smells
the
like it, but
it goes away quick, man.
right.
Yeah, it goes away quick.
It's very light smelling.
Do you have anything on the nose or no?
I do.
Oh, just give us the
Anyone
nose.
anyone else want to take one more stab at it before I?
No. Go ahead.
I
do your
gave
thing.
you.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so the nose. It says pronounce candy's sweetness like a fruit salad sweet.
I don't get any of the tossed salad stuff, but
Fruit salad, honey.
I'm sorry. But
One track mind.
sorry.
Anyway,
kids.
they said there's a,
I just wrote that shit. I'm here the rest of the night, just so y'all know. All right?
great.
I don't get any of
Okay,
the
I
tossed
love
salad. I'm sorry. You know.
I love that laugh. It's so honest. So there's a subtle peachiness, barrel char notes, and a faint buttery note. And this,
Peachiness, maybe. Like I said, I get some dark fruit. Maybe I'm thinking stone fruit.
I can't
yeah,
get
I can pick
Now
out
that you
the
say that.
peachiness.
I knew there's some kind of fruit going on there.
And this I do not agree with. It says there's plenty of sweet cinnamon and nutmeg, and also a
Yeah.
hint of fresh menthol.
What are they talking
I
about?
don't get any
I
of that.
don't
I'm
know.
not getting any of that strong because
You know-
menthol, cinnamon,
Right,
all
right.
that.
It's
I mean,
spicy.
menthol is
Spicy.
that
very
that
hot,
cool
overpowered. I don't
in
get
your
anything.
nose
heat.
sort of thing, but I could maybe I could probably say I get a little peach out of it now that you said that I'm
Yeah.
nosing it, but I don't get all the rest of the stuff. I
No.
really don't.
Okay.
The last note that they bring up is candied
I never
orange
did, I
peel.
Man, I don't get it.
Mm,
I don't get it either.
No, I didn't pick that up.
No.
All right, well, let's try the palate.
Let's try it, man.
We're going in.
Okay.
Let's go
Let's
in.
do this.
All right. It's nice.
It definitely palates
Coconut.
it palates a lot like a rye.
Yep.
I get a coconut.
I don't get any of that.
I get definitely some pepperiness.
Yep.
I get more of the baking spices on the palate than I did on the nose.
I don't get any of the fruit on the palate.
No, I don't get anything fruity there.
It's smooth, but
Maybe.
peppery at the same time.
It's got a lot of that rye character. I'm guessing
does.
this is, if there's anything dominant in this whiskey, it's that it's a rye.
I would
It's got a
totally
dominant-
agree.
But this is a lot milder than their rye. Their rye is real earthy, and this
It is. We've had
isn't
we've had both ryes
right. And this isn't real
several
earthy.
times.
But I think they're trying to make this true to whatever that 1700 American whiskey was.
I on the aftertaste, I do kind of get some orange out of it. I get the peach on the nose. After you said that, I get a faint of the aroma of peach, but man, I just can't pull anything out of it. I'm not lying. I just cannot pull anything out of it. It's I mean it's
I get
it's
a little
not
more
terrible,
of the
but
it some cloves on the finish.
I'm not getting it.
What was that? Wait, hold on. I just got something.
Like I said, it's peppery.
Dang it. If somebody said it, I'd be like, yes, that's what it is.
Well, what's the palate say? Did you give us?
So
the palate?
yeah, no, I have not.
Let's give
So
the palate.
palate, I have soft mouthfeel, a good balance between sweet spice and gentle fruitiness.
Okay, I could say gentle fruitiness. I mean, I get, after you said peach, I do get that in the nose. I didn't get it on the palate, but I kind of get the orange on the palate, so I would say fruitiness. Okay. What
Yep.
else you got?
The spiciness takes charge, accompanied by notes of barrel char and a pleasant note of leather and tobacco.
I don't get it.
You don't get it.
I don't get any of that.
But there's more than enough toffee and butterscotch notes to sweeten things up. I get that. Not at all.
I don't get
Me neither.
anything,
Me
any
neither.
butterscotch, toffees, candy kind of sweetness
I
whatsoever.
don't get any of it. What about you, Kurt?
You know, I don't like as big of flavors, so I find this very enjoyable because it's so balanced. It's so smooth.
No, it is
Nothing-
balanced.
I agree with
nothing-
that.
There's nothing really. It's kind of mellow, kind of like a Jim Beam pre-prohibition rye.
Right.
It reminds me of that, except this has kind of more. This has a little more developed notes of kind of some of the characteristics versus that Jim Beam rye. But
Okay.
I like it personally. I'm
I
not as
I
fond
like
of
it.
some of the big flavors.
I just don't get. I may have to after the show. I'm probably going to have to drink some more of that and see if it.
We might just have to do a little research.
I'm going to have to do a little research. I agree. I don't get. I apologize. I just don't get any. I mean, it's what you read is fantastic, but I'm not getting any of that. So
I'm not getting that either. I'm trying to figure out how they pulled that out. It's almost like it's a like what Kurt was saying. It's almost a balanced taste of everything, just meshed together, and I can't pull out one. You know,
I mean-
not one overpowering thing, other than the spiciness.
But I don't get a lot of sweet,
I don't
No.
either. I don't get
fruity,
any.
or caramel. You know, I don't get any of the candy kind of anything like that. So it's very
Can't pull it.
dry, like
It is kind of
like
dry.
a rye
It
would
is,
be,
It is
and-
dry like a rye. You're exactly right.
and some of those spices on the palate. What?
Oh gosh,
Comments?
I just lost it. Hold on,
Oh.
I gotta find it. Patrick Patterson said something,
Oh,
and it made me giggle. And then
that happens a lot with Patrick.
Jennifer Boggs says tossing your salad comes much later. Patrick Patterson
See you
says,
next time you come in.
hey, she said she's going to be in our part of town in August.
That's
so
what I'm talking about.
All right.
bring the Paul Newmans. Anyway, Patrick Patterson says, I like it when the podcasters are a little buzzed during the broadcast. Lots of giggles.
Yes, we are.
Well, we
We're
started
getting-
at 8 o'clock this morning, but thank you. Oh my god.
We drank ourselves sober
We drank
again.
ourselves sober.
No, just kidding.
No, right.
Chris Snyder, Highland Park 12. Is that what you're drinking now? Let us know.
Yes, well, that's a great whiskey.
Do we have
though-
Highland Park?
Huh?
Do we have Highland Park?
What are you asking?
I
me?
hope you do. Well, the 18 is one of my. It's in my top 10 for sure. The Highland Park 18 is one of my favorite whiskeys.
Huh. I can't think. I don't know if I have that or not.
I have to look.
But my favorite whiskey is. Who can remember?
Talisker? It's a T one, isn't it?
Cool Elo.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the 12 year. No? Not the 12?
18.
18.
18. Okay.
Didn't we drink that here?
Lovey could have told you. Patrick.
Well, at least she's legal.
Yeah.
Amen.
Anyway, I'd like to give a shout out to Phil Weaver, who's tuning in
Oh,
for the first
Phil!
time. So,
Cousin Phil. All right.
Hey, Phil.
Now, Phil's mostly a beer guy,
All right.
but
I'm with you, Phil. I get that.
he still enjoys our show. So thanks for
Yep, thank you.
joining us, Phil.
Where's Phil from?
Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Well, actually, Newville, if I remember right.
Carlisle, Pennsylvania. They have an army base there.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep, I've been there.
Been to
and that's where
Carlisle
a lot
for
of
a
my
couple of
cousins.
shows.
My cousins are from Carlisle.
Okay.
He's married to one of my cousins.
Gotcha.
He's a cousin-in-law.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, Phil.
Sorry, Phil.
Sorry about your luck.
Yeah. Apparently you drew the short straw.
Yeah. Next time, marry better.
Who'd you
no,
piss
just
off?
kidding.
Who'd you piss off?
I hope you put your seatbelt on
Yeah.
before you tuned in,
Yeah.
Phil, because this
Count
is
your
how
fingers.
this is how we
Oh,
roll.
he knows. He's
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. He's never going to tune in again, is he?
well, he's watched before, so
Okay.
Gotcha.
he knew what he was in for. So.
This is why people don't comment, because they're like, oh shit, what are these?
Well,
Jennifer Boggs, Pappy's is way overrated.
amen.
I would totally agree.
Well,
Amen.
have you ever met anybody that said that wasn't the case?
No, I never have. I mean,
Right,
Happy's
no, in
overrated. I
reality-
mean, it's everybody wants it because they can't get it, and they get
Yeah,
it.
it's-
It's more of a ego thing. But you know, I've passed on some Pappies. I've just after I've tried them several times, all of them, and I'd rather have the antique collection is the same money and so much better.
Well, when we have Chris Snyder on the show, we'll have to ask him what he thinks.
Okay.
I think he'll have an opinion on that.
Hope he's not.
Oh, I'm
spending
sure he
the night.
does.
Oh, okay.
No, he's going home with Doug.
Amen.
Okay, well,
All right. Well, let's rate it.
So-
What do we got, kids?
oh yeah, we got to do that, don't we?
We do have
so
to
Big
rate
G, you're first. So what do you?
I'm gonna rate it a 3.3.
Gosh, I just, it's amazing. It's what happened last time.
You know what? I'm gonna think about this, so I'm gonna pass right now. Doug, what do you?
I'm with G, 3.3. That's what I was gonna say.
Gosh, you know.
What about you, Kurt?
That's
Scale
on a 5.
on a 5. What do you rate it?
Because I like milder.
Go ahead.
I would probably go with a 4, just
Okay.
because it's not hot.
That's
and
your
it's
palate.
easy to drink.
Amen. There's no wrong answer.
No.
All right,
Okay.
4.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty high score, and
What do you got, Kurt?
Yeah.
it's I can see
But
that
I'm
though.
a
'cause
rye
it's-
fan.
Yeah.
I like rye.
I know we've had both
I don't
the rye.
like really sweet, but I don't like earthy, and this isn't earthy. So for me, I would buy that. It's good.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very good whiskey, and I think for the whiskey Roundtable, 3.3 is still a respectable score.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just looking at
Yeah.
our scoring tablet here, and a 3 is, it's a casual drinker. It's a daily drinker,
Early time.
and we'd buy it, and we'd drink it neat.
If
or
I
if
saw it, I would get it.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. So I'm the newbie / tater in the group, so I like the lower proof ones. I've got to go with Kurt. This reminds me of Long Branch because it is the lower proof. I got to give it a 4.
All right.
Wow,
There you
okay.
go. Okay.
I know I'm usually a hard scorer,
Okay.
but when we get to the lower proofs, you guys are going to notice I'm going to score a little bit
I
higher.
understand.
That's fine. It's all about what you like.
It's all about what you
That's
like.
why
It's all
we
everybody's
do
got
this.
a-
We average the scores here on the Whiskey Roundtable.
We do.
Yes,
And
we do.
eventually, we'll have these all tallied, and we'll have that on our. We'll have all these available.
Correct.
That's our plan. So
Right.
for all the whiskeys we've done this year, we will have that printed out and the scores averaged and available, along with our individual scoring. So
Correct.
that you might decide that you favor or tend to agree with one or more of us, and that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can agree with none of us, and that's cool
true
too.
too.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Which is probably more likely.
And it's more fun.
It's,
Okay?
So, what's next on our agenda?
I'm thinking the Whiskey Wizard.
Is it time for the Whiskey
I
Wizard?
think it is time for the
It's
Whiskey
time
Wizard.
for the Whiskey Wizard.
So,
So,
so how long have we got on that Whiskey
we
Wizard?
got about 6 minutes, I think.
I watched it twice, but I didn't time
Did you
it.
take
Well,
notes?
this is an important episode because
is
it
an
gets to
important
the
episode.
heart
And
of
it's
the
it's
whiskey
very
making
good.
process.
It's a very good episode. Not that none of your shows are good, trust me. But I'm just saying, for what we're doing, this is perfect.
Yep.
So, yeah, this episode's on distillation. So,
All right,
take
kids.
it away, Wizard.
We'll see you in 6 minutes.
Whiskey Wizard! It's the Whiskey Wizard!
Welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge and artisan skill and dedication and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. In this segment, we want to continue our journey into the whiskey making process by taking a look at distillation. Last time, we reviewed the mashing and fermentation step. Recall that after about 4 days, the fermentation process slows to a stop, and the mash is about 10% alcohol. This wash, or distiller's beer, is then ready for transfer to the still for distillation. In short, distillation is the process by which the alcohol and other volatile cogenitor compounds are separated from the water and mash solids. It's a fortunate fact of nature indeed that alcohol becomes a vapor at a lower temperature than does water. 173 degrees Fahrenheit for alcohol versus, of course, 212 degrees Fahrenheit for water. There are two basic kinds of still designs, the column or coffee still and the pot still. The column still serves to allow for a continuous distillation process, and it was invented by Irishman Arenas Coffee in 1831. As the name implies, the column still is a tall, cylindrical, usually copper tube, 3 to 5 feet in diameter and up to 3 stories tall. Inside are a series of horizontal plates with holes that allow the distiller's beer to flow in near the top and cascade downward as hot steam rises up through the column. This volatilizes the alcohol that rises upward and out the top, where it's passed through a condenser to turn it back into liquid. Often the column still's distillate then passes into a copper doubler or thumper vessel to further catalyze the liquid while undergoing what amounts to a second distillation. Here's a picture I recently took of the column still at Old Forester in Louisville. The pot still is designed, well, it's basically a big copper pot. Because the spent grain has to be removed from the pot still, it can only make one batch at a time. Heat is applied to the bottom of the pot to vaporize the alcohol that then flows through a condenser coil where it is cooled back to the liquid form. Pot stills are the most common choice for Scottish and Irish whiskey making, but are also used for some American whiskeys. The shape of the pot still and its upper neck, known as a lin arm, and condenser figuration can be modified to favor a lighter or more full-bodied spirit. A tall or upward sloping lin arm tends to produce a lighter spirit, whereas a shorter or low-angled arm tends to favor a more robust spirit. Copper is the material of choice for still construction. There are a few reasons for this. First, copper is a great conductor of heat. Second, it also reacts chemically with the wash beer to remove unwanted sulfur compounds that may produce off flavors. If you looked at the surface of a copper still under a microscope, it'd look a little bit like steel wool. All this extra surface area allows for the copper to react with and filter out unwanted long-chain organics, as well as sulfur compounds that are not desired in any quality spirit. Reflux happens when the vapors in the still contact the core copper and condense again, falling back into the still. This helps to add more retention time to react with the copper. After a good amount of time, stills must be cleaned or reconditioned to reactivate and refresh the surfaces to allow for sufficient reacting with the mash and spirit vapor. Some distillers keep their stills polished and all gleaming reddish gold on the outside, while others prefer to let the colorful patina build up on the outside. Some distillers say the patina may change colors from turquoise to purple, depending on the temperature and what they're running. Okay, as the beer or wash is first heated to the critical temperature, the alcohols start to vaporize. The first 5% to vaporize is referred to as the heads. The heads actually contain potentially lethal compounds such as methanol. This portion is discarded. The ethanol that follows upon reaching the correct proof and taste is considered the heart, and this is what will be barreled and become whiskey. At the end of the run is the tails. The tails contain some ethanol, but also contain compounds like propanol that would add an oily, unpleasant taste. The tails can be recycled, however, capturing the remaining ethanol. The leftover spent mash is often given to local farmers for hog feed. Remember, as we discussed last time, some of the spent mash is returned as sour mash to the next fermenter batch. As the spirit flows from the final distillation, it passes through a tail box or spirit safe. Here is where it can be measured with a hygrometer to measure its density. Here is where the cuts are made to divert the heads, the heart, and the tails of the run accordingly. Prior to 1983, for Scottish whiskey, only the local excise man had the keys to the spirit safe. Nowadays, the master distillers typically hold the keys for those operations that still use a safe. So the good spirit with the right ethanol purity and cogener compounds will result in the desired balance of taste complexity. That, along with the flavor contribution provided by the barrel during aging, creates the resulting whiskey we hopefully will love and appreciate. In barrel maturation, my favorite part, is where we'll begin next time on the Whiskey Wizard. Remember, fine whiskey making doesn't take a wizard's magic, it just ought to taste that way. I'm Doug Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard for the Whiskey Roundtable, and now back to the live show.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
Oh, sorry, did
that
we
was
do
the
this
intro.
before?
I think
Sorry,
we
did
did. All
we?
right.
I thought we were
Sorry.
ending.
Maybe
I don't
we
know.
are.
We're
Maybe
still
we are
on?
getting
This
drunk.
is what
I don't
happens
know.
when you drink at 8 o'clock in the morning, right?
All right.
All right, Pat. We're getting a little hosed now. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
We're back.
So,
We
Doug,
are back.
tell us
Yes.
a little bit about your distilling and the.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the heart of the process, right? So, but yeah, I mean, we have to, once we have that new make, once we get that mash where we need it, and then we want to. Now we still have to get that new make spirit, right? That's high quality.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have a really good mash to make a good new make spirit. You know, it's kind of that way with the whole process, right? You got to, each step has to be done well, but there's probably no step more critical in terms of, you know, deciding what the end product can possibly be than the distillation process. So, because that's what ultimately decides what's going to go into that barrel, and as we'll find out next time, in the barrels where a lot of the magic happens.
Amen. Amen. All
That's
depending
where it
on
gets-
char, too, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's special flavor and color from there.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
But human beings can do a lot, and particularly in the distillation phase, to put that good quality new make spirit, and then once you put it in the barrel, then that's kind of where the magic and nature takes over at that point. So,
I would like
Yeah.
to, maybe after Scotch Month, I would like to do a show on the 3 different moonshines.
Oh, the White Dog?
The White Dog, yeah.
Well, we should do that because there's a, obviously, call it moonshine or white dog.
Sure.
That's that's the end product of distillation. So
Correct.
it's still important in terms of,
Yeah,
it's a good example of how that has a big impact on the finished product.
All right. Who else we got, kids?
Well, we have the news, I guess.
We have the news.
Any comments that we need to?
I'm just looking. I asked what everyone's drinking and smoking. Patrick Patterson has got an Ardbeg and a. If I can say this out loud, never mind. It's probably very benign, but I'm gonna move on.
No, with Patrick, it's probably not.
Let's see. Oh yeah, no, I was right. I just saw Jen's comment. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, nothing else. Nothing else. It's all
Okay.
good. Let's go with the news. What do we got?
Go ahead, Dougie. Start off.
Well, Octantoshan,
Who?
the Lowland distillery, based close to Glasgow, has announced their innovative new limited edition whiskey, the Bartender's Malt. It has been created by 12 bartenders that all partook of a certain contest that they put together all over the world, and those 12 bartenders were invited to come to Glasgow to work on Octantoshan's master blender for 5 days, and then working with them they came up with this particular blend called the Bartender's Malt, and it's fairly limited, but they must have at least enough that the price isn't too bad. It's about 45 pounds a bottle, so you know what that is US, maybe $60, 65 bucks, so not too bad.
Nope. Okay.
But it's gotten a very good ratings, and I got more, but I'll
I'm
bounce
gonna
it to you.
go. Buffalo Trace gives the people what they want with the 3rd release of CYPB. Well, when I read that, I want to say I hope they give it to the people in Ohio who deserve it. All right. For 3 years now, Buffalo Trace Distillery has given fans its voting rights to craft your own perfect bourbon. And
CYPB.
CYPB. And for the 3rd year in a row, the expression is known as Weller's CYPB has topped the list. With its distillery interactive craft your perfect bourbon website, fans are given the opportunity to control mash fill barreling, warehousing, aging, and proofing to create the whiskey that crave most. Buffalo Trace has a shocking consistency in what the people want. A wheated recipe bourbon, aged 8 years on the top floor of the rick house, and bottled between 90 and 99 proof. And the jumps between these favorites and their runners-up are notable. There is nearly 50,000 response differences between the wheated bourbon recipe and the second recipe preferred. Rye mash number 1, says the distillery. The data shows 23% of the respondents would age their own bourbon for 8 years, compared to only 10% who would age their bourbon for 23 years.
Oh, that's too much.
I don't know. About 70% of the fans choose to age their perfect bourbon on the top floor compared to the middle room, bottom floors, and nearly 48% of the fans proofed their bourbon at 90 to 99 proof. 2 years ago,
Interesting.
it is interesting.
So I would think,
Go ahead,
low
no.
floor or long age would be the way to go.
That's what I would think too,
Yeah.
because heat rises.
Cooler
Yeah.
barrels, like Scotch whiskey, right? That's why Scotch whiskey has to age so long, because of the cooler conditions.
2 years ago, we were amazed to see the website data indicate a strong preference amongst countless possibilities. Senior Marketing Director Chris Comstock said in a press release this morning, "We took the feedback from 100,000 fans to heart. Now, with more than 300,000 participants, it is wonderful to see an overwhelming majority of our fans still prefer bourbon with the specifications of Weller CYPB. We are very happy to continue giving bourbon drinkers more of what they crave every year. The third base release of Weller CYPB, neatly in the data set, bottled at 95 proof, crafted with the same weeded recipe that bourbon lovers chase in all Weller and Van Winkle bottles, like the years past. It will be available this summer.
It's summer.
Okay.
We're waiting.
This summer in very limited quantities.
Of course, that
There
is
we go.
AKA not
So
in
you're
Ohio.
you're not giving people what they want.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's-
This summer in a very limited quantities, the suggested retail price at $50.
New
That's
York,
what I had.
California.
Amen. Yeah, you know
Okay,
that shit. Just
but that will
pisses
be
me
a
off.
nice weeder if you could get it.
If you can get it. CYPB, in my personal opinion, is a great product. And you know me, I'm
Yeah.
a Buffalo Trace single barrel fanatic.
Yes.
And the CYPB is probably my number one favorite drink. Anybody that I've ever turned on to that, besides the Hancock,
Yeah.
is where you're at. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's unbelievably good.
Yeah, we
That
went.
would
We
be
went
great. You
to
could get it.
a bourbon tasting for Weller at the Lizardville,
Correct.
and that's where we were lucky enough to try it, and just one of the smoothest bourbons I've ever had.
So
There's a Ralph story there.
Oh, there's always a sidecar story. Always.
He found it at the Millard Fillmore Presidential Library bar over there on Waterloo.
He did.
Quarter of a bottle.
Down
He
in
was
Akron?
No, it's in Cleveland.
Oh,
By
okay.
By the what music venue? But he
Peabody's or
it's not Peabody's is gone. I can't remember the name. But
I'm so old school.
the
now.
Beachland, by the Beachland.
Oh, Beachland
Oh,
Ballroom.
okay. Over
And he found
Collinwood.
that, and there was a
Collinwood,
third
yeah.
of a bottle. Needless to say, when he left, there was none. And
No.
they were only pouring it for it was like I don't know, $8 a shot.
That's cheap.
It is. That's
It
why you
is.
drink
I
it.
mean, that's
Wow.
So that's all the news that I have today, kids.
What do
So,
you got there, Dougie?
McAllen has introduced the double cask 15-year-old and 18-year-old.
My favorite, Macallan
The
15.
perfect harmony of American and European oak. That sounds great. They
One of my
released
favorite
the
stuff.
double cask 15-year-old and 18-year-old in a significant expansion of this highly successful range just recently. They first introduced it in 2016 as the 12-year-old and enticing collectors, and now this year they released the 15 and 18, so that's exciting. So hopefully we can all take advantage of that. And Wilderness Trail Straight Bourbon Whiskey, I just picked up some. I see that you have some there. Rated one of 2020's top 9 best by the Whiskey
Wilderness
Advocate.
Trail's good. Scott Royblath, who lives down in Kentucky, he brought up a bottle of the. He actually brought up a couple bottles of the some store picks, and he picked me out his favorite and brought me a bottle of it. I've yet to open it.
I have a
So,
Wilderness Trail store pick
Nice.
from Moody's.
nice.
Where actually Jennifer Boggs recommended we go. I think I got
I
the
think
name.
so you said
But-
Moody's?
I
that
think
right?
that it's a liquor store in Bardstown.
I think I have a Buffalo Trace single barrel from that same liquor store.
Really?
Yeah, but I only got one, so we'll never open it. So
You need a backup.
that's the Buffalo Trace single barrels are going to be when I'm long gone and everybody can have a chance to sample all the stuff I wouldn't sample.
Have not met one that I did not like.
Amen.
You're unbelievable. One
and-
day you're going to break down and open those bottles.
Right.
Catoctin Creek Infinity Barrel Rye.
Infinity Barrel.
Wow.
Recently released. Origin
some
is
shopping.
Virginia. 40% ABV. So
Oh,
on the
low.
side.
Very low.
There you go.
But got high reviews, and that's
We have
fairly
some,
limited. But,
we have some couple bottles of Catoctin Creek, and it's been very, very pleasurable in my personal opinion.
Agreed.
Yes.
So it was Kurt bought it on a fluke per well, I won't say per my suggestion. He took the advice of the guy at the liquor store down in Florida.
But who
and-
called it before the liquor store guy said take this one?
Oh, you did. Okay.
Remember?
Well, all I know is it's really good.
I said I've never
You
seen
can't
that
get it in
before.
Ohio. Can't get it in Ohio, and it's damn good. We have we have Masters Distillers, don't we?
But apparently, the proceeds for that whiskey will go to benefit a lot of the hospitality industry that's been so hardly hit by the COVID-19.
Nice.
So,
All right, cool.
so we definitely want to try to find that if we can, and it's a rye.
It's very good.
So
Yeah, we have to go dusty hunting. Is that what we learned today?
Yeah, we can call it whatever you want.
Dusty hunting.
yeah.
Look at me.
All right, kids.
I'm smart.
All right.
Anything else?
Well, just to remind everybody that we will be off the next 2 weeks, the 17th and the 24th.
Right. You're traveling, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of a vacation, and
Okay.
so it's a whiskey roundtable vacation over the next couple of weeks, and
Look out for Whiskey Wizard's post. He posts a lot of great stuff when he's on
He
vacation.
does.
So
He
I'll
really
try to
does,
make
so
I'll
check it out.
we'll try to come up with a few posts for everybody, to remind you that we're here, and but we'll be back big time on the 31st. We have another special show planned for then, and then. Of course, immediately following that is Scotch Whiskey Month on the Whiskey Roundtable
right.
for August. So,
Sure.
in the month of August, as tradition, we always feature single malt Scotch, and we'll
We
be
do.
doing that for the month of August.
So now that COVID, I guess, is kind of winding down, we have Gary Coe wanting to come back and do the show. And
Gary,
we have,
he's still looking for those drunks on the faces on the liquor
We
bottles.
also, I got a call this week. We got a call this week from Ray Lowe. Ray Lowe wants to come back and do the show with their cognac, which is fantastic. But we'll see you cats in 3 weeks, right?
So,
3 weeks. We're
3
off
weeks.
2 weeks.
3 weeks.
So
see you on the
31st.
31st of July.
31st. And our
So-
plan right now is to do Angels Envy Rye.
Angels Envy Rye we'll be doing that day, and then again, then for the whole month of August will be Scotch Whiskey Month,
Yep.
and which is perfect because it leads up to the high low for
Right.
me. So,
Amen. All right.
Oh,
so
no.
don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page if you've not already. Follow us on Facebook, and if you have any comments or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us directly also at thewhiskeyroundtable@gmail.com.
We got a shout out from a couple of fans this week who want to sit in on our
Okay.
show, and
Yeah.
we'd love to have you. I
Oh
know
yeah.
we've got one in particular that lives in the area, so
Right.
I don't want to mention his name. You know, I want to make sure he's good with it before
Right,
I say
right.
his name.
Okay.
So
Right.
that's why I'm being kind of elusive here. But yeah, we would love to have people come and sit in.
It's always fun. Always
Yeah.
fun.
We drink enough alcohol. There's no germs going anywhere, so
Right. Yeah, we're
it's all good,
We'll even cough on you when you leave, just so you know.
just in case. Doug, you got any parting words for us?
Well, comes from the writer Hunter S. Thompson, who said, "I do like my whiskey, and saying that I have a drinking problem is like saying Bruce Lee has a kung fu problem."
Did you say kung flu?
Kung fu.
Oh, okay. Just check.
It's not a problem if you are the best at it.
That's right.
Boom,
Amen.
mic drop.
There you go.
So long, everybody.
All right.
We'll
Listen.
see you on July 31st. In the meantime, enjoy the vacation.
All right. Listen, we'll see you guys in 3 weeks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, of course.
Yep.
And be safe.
Please be safe.
Drink responsibly. And if you're not drinking responsibly, don't leave the house.
And
Okay.
Chris Snyder, I'll see you at LBI.
Oh my.
Oh,
We want to
LBI.
hear those
Yeah,
stories.
Yeah, that's right. All right, kids.
Take a video.
We'll catch you guys in 3 weeks. Thanks for watching
All
the
right.
Whiskey Roundtable. I'm Big G.
I'm Karen Helen Keller.
I'm Doug Dunbar. And
Okay.
Tim Sermo will see you too.
All right. Catch you guys
All
later.
right.
And
Guys.
Bev. Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Have a great weekend.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee.